Right.
Hey Warren, how are you?
Hey, good. Welcome to our soft opening.
Yeah, really. But that's okay. We're gonna save it for the end.
Absolutely. Uh, Thank you for your time today. Welcome, of course, my friend. And we're really excited to be broadcasting live today all over the world for Space 1999, this episode. And we're going to be joined in just a moment by a very special guest. To start off with, though, Roy, I just wanted to, we're going to have a little fun this episode. So, for everybody out there and in the interwebs and the lands of Facebook and beyond to YouTube, we're going to actually be holding a very fun draw throughout this live stream. So it's essentially the draw will be for a copy of the Space 1999 Breakaway 4K, recently released by Anderson Entertainment. And how we're going to do this, I've got a spinny wheel thing in the background that I'll be filling out throughout the episode. And in order to qualify, this will be open to anybody who hasn't yet purchased either a day pass, a supporting membership, or a 3-day pass for Manchester 1999. So I'll be tracking that throughout the show. And I'll be adding the names to the Wheel of Fun at the end of the episode for their very own copy of Breakaway. Okay.
Very cool. Very nice. Yeah, and
Awesome.
before we get started, since we are broadcasting live, and since we have a lot of people out there, just would be nice just to welcome the folks out there just before we get started with
For
everybody,
sure.
just to give them a shout out. So I see Claudia is out there. Welcome, Claudia. Great to see you out there. And Simon is also joining us. Welcome, Simon. And also, let me see, Online Alpha is out there. Welcome. And also, let me see.
That's all of us.
Yeah. And then I see Francine is joining us. Welcome, Francine. Martin is out there. Welcome. And David is also out there. Welcome, David. And he's even saying, ready to start talking about the episode I call Space 1339.
39. Nice.
Hey, and Jeff Rubel is also joining us. Welcome, Jeff. And also May is also out there joining us from Canada, fellow Canadian.
That's awesome.
Andy Tucker as well, out from Southern California. Welcome, Andy. Lefris is joining us from Greece. Welcome. And I think I covered everybody. Yes. So thanks for that. It's always good just to touch in with all the folks that are joining us live. And for the folks that join us on the rewind, thank you for joining us then as too. We know sometimes, with the schedules, it's just really tough to, make the live broadcast. So we appreciate your support and joining us, even if it's not live and it's on the recording. So we hope you enjoy everything. And yeah, very excited about this episode.
Well said, my friend. Thank you for all of that. And thank you to everybody out there. One last quick note before we get on with our special guest is that towards the end of the episode, we're also going to be, I was promoting this, we're going to be premiering a brand new short or trailer for the Return to Moonbase Alpha project. So we're very excited to be presenting that live to everybody out there as well. And so we'll touch on that towards the end. Stay tuned for that, as well as the fun draw. So a couple things to look forward to in an hour or two. Depends on how long we go, right? So with that being said, we're going to bring on our very special guest, Miss Isobel Hoy. Hello there, my friend.
Hello.
Oh, and we got Dr. Bob the Bear.
Oh, this is Barbara Bear. How dare you?
Barbara Bear. I'm sorry.
Of course it's Barbara Bear.
You had the wrong B there, Warren.
Outraged.
Hi, Isobel. Great to see you out there. Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Oh,
sorry. Yeah, of course.
Too much fun. How have you been since we last saw each other a few months ago?
A few months ago. Yeah, not too bad. Thank you. Took retirement, so I can't complain.
Nice. So, congratulations on that. That's
wonderful. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with my time. So watching more episodes. What could be better?
Well, that's great. Hey, Roy, I forgot one thing, and there's no problem. We could still circle back to it now that we have Isobel on board. Did you happen to have an ITC summary?
I actually happen to have that. So just to kind of give everybody a taste of what we are going to be discussing today, if you already haven't guessed, ITC summary goes something like this: the promise of a return to Earth, but the space wandering Alphans find themselves lost in the midst of time. And of course, we're talking about episode number 5, Journey to Where.
Wow.
Yay.
Very exciting.
I feel I should be cheering now with some of Tony's beer, but it didn't go down very well in the episode, did it? So
but
it won't.
But you know what? There's so much to talk about with this episode, and that is heavily featured in this. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that, and maybe we should even raise a glass. And that's one thing I didn't prepare myself with, but we could do a virtual glass. Solange, what Alan says, right?
Solange, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's looking at you.
Yeah. Yes.
No, well,
we've got to say, I mean, the only time they get to meet aliens that they can't understand, they can't speak to, and it's in the country that neighbours the country where the language that we speak is from. And I love that.
I know, if you think about that, right? What a twist of fate, or twist of time, or both.
The old universal translator just doesn't apply in this case, eh?
Yeah, well, it obviously wasn't made to work with actual English, British languages. Not all of the British languages.
That's okay. That's okay. Isobel, do you have any thoughts of seeing this first run?
You know what? I don't actually recall seeing the first time I saw this one. It was always a favorite. So years ago, I wrote down my scores of what I thought.
Sure.
And this was one of my top episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a solid 10 out of 10. And obviously, for somebody who is a massive fan of Martin and Barbara, the kiss. We've been waiting for this. So that was important. That was good. And then they got to kiss, and it's just like, no, that's just it's such a bad screen kiss. So, that was it's kind of weird watching it now, and you've waited for this, and then they kiss, and it's like, what? You could sell it better than that, mate. Oh, what was that all about?
I mean, I'll defend them on that level, because she was sick, and he was. I know what you're saying, and I know I think probably in Bringers of Wonder, when he's like, Helena, and then he grabs her and everything, and then they even reuse that shot in Devil's Planet.
Devil's Planet, yeah.
But
that is worse. That is a worse kiss. It has to be said. She would have no front teeth if they're actually really going for it. So it was clearly not a real kiss. But this one's fairly bad.
But
so they fumbled a kiss. So was this does life?
I am jumping around in terms of the timeline of the actual episode. I'm sorry about that.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, in regards to the timeline.
Well, in terms of what happened in the episode, I've jumped all around.
Oh no, you're right. No, it's okay. There's the rule. You know what the rule on this show is? There are no rules, so we could talk about whatever. It's all going to come full circle anyway, right? Get that? Full circle.
We see what you did there.
Yeah, right. Warren, do you recall the first time you saw this episode?
So this was there again. I was pretty young, and my recollections of year 2 come into focus more in the 1980s during a rerun on the CBC. I have snippets that I recall first run, and one, of course, is the fantastic Texas City structures. megastructures. Those really stuck with me. I thought they were an incredible design. I will say that, interestingly enough, upon one of my earliest memories of viewing this, before I had seen the entire episode throughout, with the buildup and the communication back and forth between Moonbase Alpha and Texas City, I had it in the back of my mind that the people on Texas City were actually the bad guys, and that they were sort of out to trick the Elfins in some way.
Interesting.
Which of course didn't play out, but that was one of my first thoughts watching the episode, is that they were up to some nefarious scheme of some kind. But
no, that's kind of interesting. I've never actually heard anybody say that. So that's interesting, and obviously they kind of went with that with the plot, because Koenig was suspicious of that too.
Yeah,
and he threw the test out there, and then Tony says the natives are growing restless, and then he says, let's hope that Logan can calm them down. So
that was a little bit of it, because they did play on that a little bit. You're right, Roy. Yeah.
So
I do like the all the historical testing questions, though. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
To do with Yuri Gagarin and
the World Series, wasn't it?
The
hypothetical World Series. Yeah.
Interesting enough, supposedly Yuri Gagarin was actually married. I looked this up 4 years prior to that space flight. So I'm not sure what happened with that, but that's one tidbit. And then in regards to the 4-3, for the Boston Red Sox against the St. Louis Cardinals, that actually did happen, but it happened later on. But my team actually won the 1998 World Series, which was the New York Yankees against San Diego Padres. So I was kind of excited, about that.
Oh.
But there you go. But one of the things that I was trying to think back when you were asking Isabel that, and then I thought I would ask you, when you saw it. I mean, I don't have a clear recollection of when I saw this for the first time myself. I know it was in 76, 77, probably 77. I don't think I saw it the first run. I caught it in the reruns, if my recollection is clear, because we used to go to my grandparents on Sundays when this was being shown originally when they premiered year 2. And then what they did was on Channel 11 later on, they switched it to Saturdays, but it was maybe a couple months later. So by the time we would get back home, it was like 7:45, 10 to 8. And unfortunately, no VCRs then. And they weren't, showing the episodes, rerunning them until it went through the whole cycle. But this has always been a favorite of mine. And like Isabel was saying, it's so cool to see them all together. Koenig, Helena, and Alan, the three of them.
It's a great Nick episode.
Yeah, I've always been a Nick fan, an Alan Carter fan as well. So it was great to see the three of them. It kind of almost reminded me of, and I was thinking of this before we did the broadcast, it would have been kind of cool if Bergman was a part of this, because it would have almost been like with Ultima Thule, Death's Other Dominion, where it was the four of them. Only in this episode, it's the three of them that are together. And it's just kind of a crossover that just occurred to me in my mind. And think about it, with Victor in the past. I mean, as far as, all the history and everything, how cool that would have been. Just kind of like a what if. But one thing was, I thought it was really sad that everything on Earth had been devastated. Granted, they had the Metrodomes. But one of the lines that kind of made me really sad was when they said, who needs nature? And it was just kind of really sad that, Earth had been devastated, but it's almost like a reminder of the direction this planet can go in if we're not careful. So it was a bit of foreshadowing.
There's an environmental message there for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we find out later who needs nature when we watch Sound Spectre, and we realize it's us. We need nature, don't we?
Absolutely.
So, reflecting back on right at the end of the series, if you like. But
that's another favorite episode of mine, by the way, Isabel. I love Sound Spectre. I just wish it was a longer episode. That to me should have been the 2-parter, but that's a discussion for another day.
I think that episode lost me at the total concentration, and I couldn't take it seriously. And yeah, it's taken me a while to. It's not like a Lambda Factor where it's gone right up in my estimation. That wasn't one of my favorites, and now it's sort of going up in my estimation. But maybe I need to give that one another go.
That happens a lot. I like Devil's Planet. I used to load that episode, and I would be like, oh. But even with that episode, there was like a message in regards to tyranny and one person and the whole gambit. Again, we'll talk about that in future time. But it's amazing how episodes that maybe you watched at one point. And then, as the years have gone on, you kind of have a different perspective.
Yeah.
The Infernal Machine, talking about that, with Gwen, I used to loathe that episode, but I have such an appreciation for it as an adult now. But David just commented, he said the Who Needs Nature was typical of the dystopian future stories of the early 70s. No, you're absolutely right, David. It's so true. I mean, it was doom and gloom and, the direction of humanity and just, there was a lot of that. So great point.
Damnation Alley came out the very next year.
Yes. Love that movie. Jan Michael Vincent, George Papard. Yeah. Great movie.
So what I'd like to know, having recently watched the episode, you watched it again last night, is why is all team sport going to be banned later on this year?
I know, 2026. That's, I know, right?
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of crazy. Yeah, they never go into the reason for that. And what's interesting? I didn't catch that it was banned until just recently watching it. I thought it would. I forget what the term is that I thought Logan says, but I didn't think it was banned. I thought it was just stopped. But he uses the word banned, and it's like, why? To your point about that, Isobel, what happened? I mean, that could be a story in itself as far as the direction of things going on.
Yeah. What's happening with the Winter Olympics and the did the English get really upset because the Irish soundly beat them during the Six Nations? What happened?
Oh, Jeff Rubel is saying Logan doesn't say banned. He says abandoned. Listen to it with the headset. Okay, well, there you go.
Okay, abandoned. Okay.
He said it's in the script too. Okay. Well, thanks for that clarification.
Thank you.
I actually, like I said, I did not catch it being banned until just recently watching it. And I read somewhere else that it said banned, and then you said banned. So it almost sounds like banned.
Yeah.
But it was abandoned. So there we go. All right. See, we solved a mystery on this show.
Learn something new every day, don't we, on this show? No, that's great. Hey, Roy, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this also the first time that we're introduced to Yasko?
It is. Yeah. Unfortunately, Xenia left after One Moment of Humanity, and Journey to Where, All That Glisters never took place on Alpha. So it was only the cast members that were in the Eagle for that episode. So yeah. So Xenia left, and then Yasko took over. She wound up becoming married to Ray Austin, the director. And and then she did several episodes after that, and it was a great loss. And then also, this was the introduction of Dr. Ben Vincent. Unfortunately, Anton had left. He was referenced in One Moment of Humanity, but the last episode that he was actually in was The Exiles, and it was a loss. It was definitely a loss, not having the two of them. But fortunately, Xenia does come back later on. She is convinced to come back. So later on in the season.
I like Ben. I wish they would have made him, a consistent regular, because they did sort of go through that phase of the revolving doctors as well, right?
Yes.
And I think out of all of the people we're introduced to, I think Ben is my favorite.
Yeah. I liked Ben. I also liked Dr. Ed Spencer. I thought he did a great job in the last 3 episodes.
Sam Daster. Yep.
Sam Daster. They also had Raul, who was in Mark of Archon. And I think the reason why he was brought on was because, if I remember reading, Jeffrey Kassoon was not available. He may have been doing a play, because he's a theater actor as well. and that's why they brought Raul in. But it was, and he actually, the actor's name is Raul, and I forget what his last name is, but it's just, and then they had Jeffrey Kassoon come back a little later on.
Right. Yeah, he was in Bringers, right? Yeah.
He was in Bringers of Wonder. In fact, that was the last. Well, he was not only in Bringers of Wonder, but he was also in Catacombs of the Moon, as well too.
And he's got some good parts in both those episodes.
Yep, he does. And Seed of Destruction, he was also in that too. Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining us. He said, "Quite your podcast late in. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the episode till you said Logan." Oh, yeah, we're talking about Journey to Where. You got it. Thanks for joining us, Paul.
We did keep that one under wraps. Yeah, great guest stars as well. Freddie Jones, Isla Blair.
Yeah.
And Isla's second.
Wearing another wig. What is it with this woman?
I know. That if there's
dodgy hairdo, bless her.
She's so lovely, but the wig is kind of off-putting even to this day for myself. It's just I can't get past that, unfortunately. But no, great performances. Freddie Jones, just a wonderful actor. He went on to appear in a couple of productions of David Lynch's later on in life.
Right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, he was in Dune. Yeah, that's right. That was their first collaboration.
Yeah, I was wondering what else he'd been in, because obviously for myself, I knew him from Ghosts of Motley Hall, but I don't know if you'd have watched that.
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry,
so
what is that called?
Ghosts of Motley Hall. It was a children's TV series.
Oh, okay. I was just going to say, I love
his son now is making, he's quite famous as well. He's the Toby Jones.
It's always cool to see actors in other roles besides, we love them from, like the shows that they've done that were, and this for me is whether it's Space 1999 or Star Trek. I always love seeing them in different characters in different series, because then you get to see their range and you just see them as a performer. So, and he is very versatile. And he was director Tom Clegg's first choice. There were a few other actors that were under consideration, Patrick Troughton being one of them too, for the role of Dr. Logan, which I could totally see. I could see Patrick Troughton doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But he was very unique. He was kind of odd, but he was a scientist, and he really embraced the character. I love his gestures. He's like walking around like this, and then he's just kind of like really short with his direction, and then when he's trying to figure out like what to eat, he's just like kind of.
Oh, that is just so classic, isn't it? Because he's so careful, and he's looking, and you think, oh, this must be some big scientific thingy that he's getting hold of, and then he just grabs it and puts it in his mouth, and he's like selecting, his glacium or whatever it actually is. But
he really sells the character. I mean, it's just he's brilliant with that, and those are like choices that he's making as an actor, and it really comes through. So I really love this character in that.
Yeah, and I mean, Blair is always watchable, despite the wig. And she was like, what was it about both of them? Like obviously the bald cap in the first season, and then the dreadful wig. So the convention, I did sort of mention the wig to her, and she was clearly still remembered it after all those years. So
yeah, she was really lovely, and her and oh my
Julian Glover.
Thank you, Julian Glover. Names are starting to go on me, so it's probably the first step of getting old here. Julian Glover and her were great at the event, and also I remember seeing them for the first time together was in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and she played Mrs. Donovan. They were a married couple in the movie, so it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And Isobel, you mentioned a name that. Toby Jones.
Toby Jones is Freddie Jones' son. So check out his resume.
Oh my goodness. Okay, because I didn't know his name up until um the latest the latest Indiana Jones. The fifth one, isn't Toby Jones in that one? Dial of Destiny?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I'm pretty sure, but I'd never realized they were father and
Google is
son
your
before.
friend.
Wow.
Google is your friend.
Yeah, because a lot of people were making a big deal about him being in the fifth Indiana Jones, and I had never really heard of him before, being from North America. But that makes sense. Huh.
Oh yeah, he's been in loads of stuff over here,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah.
He just passed now. Freddie Jones
And
just passed away.
apparently, Toby Jones was the beloved house elf Dobby in the Harry Potter films. So there you go. There's the genre link.
There you go. It's a small world.
And like I say, it's
He
funny
looks just
looking
like his father too. I just looked him up, and yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. But in reference to the director, though, Tom Clegg, this was his first installment of directing, and he also directed. We were talking about the Bringers of Wonder, parts 1 and 2. He directed that, and he also directed Devil's Planet. And the episode was written by Donald James, and this was his second installment for the series. The other episode that he wrote was the Exiles, and he was a writer for the Avengers, the Champions, the Saint, Jason King and the Adventurers, and UFO, as well as the Protectors too. Martin's saying Toby Jones was also in Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Mm.
There we go.
New Doctor Who or the original?
But
I'm sure it'll be the new one.
Isobel, you were talking when we were talking off stage, brought up a great point about Tony's beer. Now, we had heard a lot about, before this season, year 2 actually came through. Freddie Freiberger was talking about differences, changes that he'd made, and then also talking about some of the elements that he had added to the, with the characterization. And Tony Anholt's character, Tony Vidachi, being like the resident beer maker. And this is the first episode that we're introduced to that. Yes. And it's kind of a fun characterization that's taken place, and we get to see the whole setup and everything, and between Tony and Maya is very, very cute too.
Yes, where she turns into is it Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde, whichever.
Oh, Mr. Hyde, yeah.
I've mentioned this one. I really like that scene because it's in my mind a really smart use of Maya's transformation abilities, right? As opposed to the sort of overtop instances, throughout year 2 where it's
good that she understands, literary references that we would get as well.
She's learning our culture.
The size of a planet, so she's learned our culture, and I think it goes really beautifully from the scene where she's playing with him. She's really playful, and she's flirting with him, and then he says, "Oh, come on, we're going to celebrate being on Earth," and then you see her face.
Yep.
And it's like you just realize that's made her alien, and he just totally doesn't sort of get
it. To your point,
it's just this lovely little moment, isn't it, for her?
Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. And to your point, Isabel, it's like the reality of the situation really hits her, but then he says to her, "Don't just stand there, come on." He's including her, he wants her to be a part of it, and then she gets this big smile on her face, and she feels, it like reconnects them. It was just a wonderful moment. And to your point, Catherine Schell, I mean, with her playfulness, the way she sells it, where she's making like these funny looks, to Tony and everything, and it's just really, really cute.
Yeah,
and
it is. It's a really nice little scene, I think.
Channel 11 out of New York, and here's the thing, I've talked about this before on the show. They would do edits to the episodes because of the commercial time. Unfortunately, they were up against trying to make sure everything was going to fit. And sadly, what would happen is they would make choices of what would be cut so it would not impact the overall story. And that scene, unfortunately, was something that was totally cut out. They totally, when Koenig what is it? Videshi leaves command center, and then Koenig goes to, says, because he gives Helena a kiss, and Koenig goes, hey, and then Koenig gives Helena a hug. It immediately shifts to the scene where they're testing the device to go back to Earth. That whole sequence was like cut out, and it was just like, oh, and it was nice characterization. And I remember seeing the photo of Mr. Hyde in the star log, and I'm like, where's that? But
yeah, that's a real shame, because it is that lovely bit of characterization, isn't it? But they do that kind of thing, don't they, swines?
Yeah, unfortunately.
And then they go, and presumably they're checking the package, which looks a bit like an Airbringer.
Right. Painted red, right?
Black sunset, absolutely. Yeah.
Suspiciously like a
yeah, how did that happen?
An aerial bringer of air.
As opposed to a bringer of wonder.
Yeah.
And interesting too, they actually show that one scene where and it's on Alpha, but it's removed. You see the base, and then you see this dome, and that was created for this, and that dome was part of the ship from Mission to the Darians. It was the Daria ship, and that was created by Martin Bauer.
Oh, okay.
So we get to see that, and that kind of makes sense too, because it's almost like it's the dome for for Earth, so to speak.
Yeah.
Connection.
And I don't know if you can see, but I'm trying to move my thing round. So that bit of grey, whatever it is there, next to the panel that we've got, that's a little piece from the city, one of the dome cities.
Texas City?
From Texas City. Oh, yeah.
Texas
Very
City.
nice.
Yeah. We've got bits of it.
Cool.
We haven't bought the whole thing from Jim because it wouldn't fit in the room. We have no room for this. But they sold some like offcuts and bits. So we do have a couple of bits of the original.
That's
cool.
And
the panel sure looks familiar too. Yeah, the panel.
Yeah.
No,
it's kind of up there with a panel and with anyway. There you go.
Very cool. So, thanks for sharing that.
And an eagle, which has been signed by Brian Johnson, because you would, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. You can't go wrong with that.
You got quite a few moon buggies there.
Yeah, we got all sorts of bits of tut. Yeah. Few bits of the collection.
Just a few eagles. Wow, look at all the dinky eagles.
Yeah.
And you've got a helmet too. Nice.
Oh yeah, we've got one of the Anderson. The 1612 helmets. Obviously, it's a Dr. Russell one. So all sorts of bits and bobs, and some of the novelizations there and stuff, and videos. Like, who watches videos? But can you throw them away?
You can't throw them away. No, I know. No. I remember the Columbia House is coming out, and I was so excited, but I was so upset at the same time because they were in no type of order, and they were split, but it was just like, you know what? At least the quality was good.
Yeah.
And they were complete too. Hey, Stephen Reeder's out there. Stephen, welcome. And he said he's got a few bits of Texas City as well too.
bits and bobs and green.
Yeah.
And he said, nice collection, Isobel.
Hey, the one thing, while Stephen's out there, I'll just say something here to Isobel and Stephen, that take very good care of those panels. And because there might be a very, very special, important reason to be potentially bringing them along to Manchester this year, if you guys are planning on coming. So just stay tuned for that. And Isobel, are you fairly close? Like, where do you guys live again?
So I live in North Shropshire, so it's about an hour and a half drive away from central Manchester.
Wow, you're right there.
Yeah, there's something we're working on behind the scenes in regards to those original panels that I think will be very, very exciting for the fans.
And of course, when you're watching the episode, they're standing right next to those panels, and it's like, you know, I was watching the episode and trying to watch in the background to see where mine was.
I did the same thing, and I remember we all got those panels around the same time, and it's like we all like did a deep dive into localizing where our panel was on the wall, right?
Yeah. And ours has been restored by Simon Rhodes.
Yeah.
And he's taken off the electronics that were put on by the Blackpool exhibition. So he has redone it so it flashes in the correct sequence that it would have done in the episode now, and not the sequence that would have done in Blackpool. And he was going, oh yeah, it's really easy. You just do blah, blah. It's like, no, Simon, we don't. And he's like, do you want me to do it?
That's awesome. That is brilliant.
And you see, that's so fun as well, because I know Stephen restored the lighting in his, and I did myself, right? But I, you know, and it's very interesting. I mean, I'd like to really talk to Simon about this, because like I took my panel to a local electronic shop, and they were able to, like, they basically had to build a winky blinking circuit, right, from scratch, and it looks all right, but it's more like it's certainly not in the episode, but mine works, but it reminds me more of like Christmas lights,
right,
where certain ones are on at certain times and others not, and vice versa, whereas in the episode it's a very fluid blinking motion throughout all the different
he'd be able to tell you all about it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Just really quick as well, for anybody out there, we're halfway through the episode here today, and just as a reminder, at the end of the episode, we're going to draw for a copy of Breakaway 4K, which is actually region free, for anybody who happens to, in the next hour or so, pick up their Manchester subscription. It could be a day pass, it might be a supporting membership, or a full 3-day pass for Manchester. If you haven't picked it up yet, take advantage, and we'll draw for this by the end of the episode. Okay.
Very cool.
Awesome.
So what else do we need to say about Journey to Where?
Well, you know what? I was just going to mention the fact that this is another example of shooting on location, and of course in the famous Black Park that we've all been to. Some beautiful locales and locations there.
Yeah, it must have been nice just to get outside, you know, out of the studio, and it really
and catch viral pneumonia almost before you blink. Who off?
That happened so quickly too, because it was very that was probably my only thing. You know, there's certain things like, with historical stuff you can put aside, but it's just that one moment, they did the transference beam, and then of course, the worst thing happens then when it can happen with, there's the earthquake, and then when they wake, everybody's kind of separated from each other, and they have that scene where they get together and then they start moving. But then the very next scene, Alan's trying to build a fire and Helena's coughing, and then that's where it kind of starts. So we don't know how long that had been developing, but it's just that it happens all rather quickly, and it just kind of like snowballs.
Isn't it? She like sneezes or something, and that's how Koenig knows which direction to go in. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like so automatic, it's almost straight away that she's caught some dread disease. And I mean, at least it's not the Black Plague, but seriously, guys. Right. We know about how viruses get round now because we've lived through COVID. So it's like, really, would she have got it that quickly?
Yeah, that's kind of like one of the holes, and with that.
And of course he comes up with one of his little songs, which is kind of cute. But
I hope the bones so cold. Can't you see she's feeling cold? And then Koenig is funny. What does he say? He goes, and Alan asks him, "Is there anything you can can you tell me something? He goes, anything if you promise to stop singing.
Stop singing. Yeah. Yeah.
But Nick actually, again, Alan Carter, he did that it was kind of the characterization. You remember he was singing in Death's Other Dominion again when he was trying to keep warm and he's, going.
Yeah, but that was a real song. So
yeah, that's true. But yeah, it was good. But
yeah, it's kind of cute.
I recall as well. Sorry, Isabel, but just in regards to Nick Tate and Roy, you'll appreciate this because I'm going to reference Starlog again. But I recall an interview with him very early on, like virtually after this episode had shot, where he had already claimed that it's one of his favorite episodes of year 2 already. Yeah. Because it did feature his character so nicely, and yeah, it was a really good part for Nick.
And we get to see again, he's kind of that heroic slant to him, because he's sort of like, do you want to go down there? Do you want to potentially get lost forever?
Yeah.
And then he steps forward as one of the people that.
And it was interesting because both him and Tony did, at the same time, and Alan is interacting with Lawrence Harrington's character who goes nameless. I guess his name was Stewart in the Dorcons.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have a name reference in this. When he said, why should they go first? And then Alan says, do you want to take the risk? Yeah. And then
and then steps forward himself.
And then he steps up. Yeah. Typical Alan Carter, right?
Yeah. But it's another little nice moment, isn't it, for him? And it does show his character in a good light, so you can see absolutely why he would enjoy this. Plus, he gets to get in a bit of a fight with a guy, when they're
sort of, and you
play more versus bit of stick, all that sort of thing.
It was looking kind of grim, and then Koenig does that, that jump and takes him down.
Oh, the wig!
Yeah,
it's fantastic, isn't it? You'd think by that many years in the future, they'd be able to invent something a bit better looking. So
now this is with that photo. This is also another good reference point. This is
I know what you're going to say, Roy.
Yeah, the only time we see Koenig, at least in an episode. I mean, there's some behind the scenes shots that we've seen, like in rehearsals, where he does not have a jacket on, and
that's because she's got it on,
right? But it's cool to see that we get to actually see the difference in this year two.
It's so cool to see the colored sleeve. That was so iconic in year 1.
It really was.
Yeah.
But I had read that Martin Landau, I guess he was very happy with the year 1 uniform, and I guess they did some alterations with this that are different, and in that photo especially because the blacks on his right arm
doesn't go all the way up the shoulder.
It stops, and that's the difference.
Yeah. And listen, I'm going to spin this opportunity again to advocate for the vest in Metamorph because it allowed you to see the sleeve color, and that's one thing that was, and thinking about it now, let me posit this for a moment, right? I mean, if they were going to use jackets then, and nobody liked the vest, right? Why didn't they come up with a jacket with a colored sleeve then that matched the uniform underneath?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just saying.
Yeah. No, it's
because some of them do have flashes on, don't they? Sort of different color. So yeah.
You mean in regards to the jackets?
Yeah, don't they have little? They could have put something on there, couldn't they?
They could have.
And see, the other thing that always bothered me is that I always felt there again, if they're going to introduce jackets, that the jacket color should at least match the sleeve underneath.
Yeah.
And there was just there was no rhyme or reason to it. It's like, as the actors showed up at the studio, they just grabbed a jacket, and that's why you'll see like the dark charcoal versus the black versus the green jackets are like almost interchangeable between Landau, Tony Anholt, and Alan throughout year 2.
Yeah, I actually tracked that. That was one of the things, kind of like Isabel.
Really?
Yeah. So you Martin Landau
why are we not surprised?
He wore a black one. He had a charcoal one, and then he also had a blue one, and it was like a deep navy blue. Those were the three that I came up, and I like the charcoal the best out of the three. But and that's just me personally. But with Alan, he was wearing the red one in the earlier episodes, and then they switched them over to green for the latter episodes.
Yeah.
I kind of missed his blue jacket that he would wear when he would, they had him in the Metamorph. They had it in One Moment of Humanity, and they also had that in All That Glisters. And then he stopped wearing it after that, like if they were going to a planet or something like that. That would have been kind of, it was kind of cool. Just
it's
like
really. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, just like with Koenig, he was wearing that's what they described it. The color is like a salmon.
Mm-hmm.
He was wearing that in the all the earlier episodes into the mid-season, and I think the last episode that he wore it in was Space Warp or Matter of Life or Matter of Balance, excuse me. And then after that, he didn't wear it in the later episodes.
Talking about jackets, I thought of something else that I don't think we brought up in the show before, Roy, but the Year 2 style, again, they were used in Metamorph more because they were more like a winter jacket, like they were more downfilled with the ribbing.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw them in Dragon's Domain, right? Because Victor wore one, and
that's where they're left over from, to be honest with you. When you're absolutely right. They recycled them from that.
Exactly. But fun fact, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but the same style of jacket is actually used in Star Wars the next year. And Luke Skywalker wore a yellow one at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. So yeah, no, those jackets that did pop up in Year 1 were interesting because it was, again, in my mind, it was just a little bit about bridging the 2 years continuity wise. It's a loose continuity, granted, right? We've talked about this with losing so many characters, but how fun it was to see Alan and Xenia return to sort of bridge that gap a little bit. But the jackets sort of serve that same purpose in a lesser way, if you will, as well.
Yeah, and to your point about Xenia, she wore a yellow one in One Moment of Humanity.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Huh.
Which would have matched.
That's right. Yeah.
So it could be done.
Yeah.
Nick commented, hey, Nick, thanks for joining us. Great to see you out there as well. Great to see everybody out there. He said, be cool if the jackets match the colors on the uniform, like you were saying earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, I never actually thought about that. That's a great point, though. Martin Landau supposedly really despised the Metamorph jacket, and I think there's a story. I don't know if it's true or not, but maybe it's a fan legend. But supposedly he took it and he threw it out to a fan, and I don't know. Maybe they had two of them because I think Andrew Frampton has the one that we saw in London, but maybe there was another one that was given away to a fan. So probably they had more than one. They probably had at least two just to be safe, but it didn't go over well.
One of his later jackets definitely went to a fan, but that was Pat Jenkins, so that would have been much later when she and Robin Hill and Carol Abs went. She was given one of the jackets, and it was the sort of almost like a greenish, like grey one.
So, nice. Yeah, those photos are priceless too, seeing Robin Hill and them, visiting the set. And it just goes to show you too how friendly they were with the fans, even at that time. I mean, granted, it was a different time where, being able to visit sets. We've seen photographs like behind the scenes, like with Star Trek. Of course, I got to reference Star Trek, but even Lost in Space used to get visitors to the sets. So it's kind of nice that kind of warmth was extended to different folks on the Space 1999 set back when they were filming as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you've read Robin Hill's article about it, because he wrote it up. It was actually what was then called the British Nick Tate Club that he went with, and he wrote it up in there. And he was such a funny man, very quiet, very unassuming in real life, but his writing was really funny. He wrote Eagle of the Gods, which is on I think it's on Archive of Our Own. It's certainly available online to read, and and he used to do lovely artwork. He used to do little jokes and with tribbles, because he was a Star Trek fan as well. Yeah, so he wrote up this lovely little article about going, and how everyone was like, "Oh, look, it's a big eagle," and sort of like
he was amazing,
the
because he
Comlock was
built
oversized as well. So yeah.
That 44-inch eagle that he built was amazing, and
he
that
built
you're
it from
talking,
scratch.
Considering that he wouldn't have been able to pause, rewind.
Yep.
There was no blueprints. There was nothing.
No.
That would have been just from photographs and
Yeah.
basically taking pictures of the television like we used to do. I mean, that's what I used to do. I get the Polaroid camera out, and it's like, got to get a great shot just to have. I did that with Trek and Space 1999, but really, and then, obviously Starlog magazine, but brilliant. That's, in fact, I got to give a shout out to Lou Place. Lou is amazing. In fact, Lou built that 44-inch eagle back in the early 80s, because he made a fan film, and that was his creation, and he did it from photographs as well now, and also videotapes, because he taped the episodes. So that
was probably the second 44-inch fan eagle ever built.
Yeah, that we know of. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Lou's work is also, it's incredible.
Well, amazing. He built the whole eagle set, right? Just from memory, basically, and old. Well, I guess in the 80s he might have been able to record it, but
yeah, he did the cockpit of Sadly, it no longer exists.
Lots of fun. But what a tour, because I remember the Robin Hill photos, and not only did they visit the sets, they went to Bray. Yeah. They went to Bray as well, and saw all the behind the scenes. Just wow, my brain.
Isobel, when did he pass? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
It's a shame.
It was many years ago.
That's what I thought.
I don't know.
I'll definitely have to. I think I may have read excerpts from that, but it was a long time ago. So I'm going to have to track that down and try to find that, because I would love to read just about his entire visit there, and just that whole experience had to be incredible. I suspect, just from seeing the different photos and what the cast are wearing, I'm thinking it was probably during the time of the filming of the Seance Spectre, is my guess. But again, it's just a guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's late on, but
later year too.
Yeah.
Or 1976, I should say. Stephen is joining us. Welcome, Stephen. He said, I thought the season 2 costumes were ugly. Season 1 was stylish and the costumes were sexy. And then he said, in fact, season 2, okay. Well, he said, in fact, season 2, we got to be fair and read everybody's comments. He said, in fact, season 2 wasn't very good. I think possibly because too much time has passed between the end of season 1 and the start of season 2. The stories were diabolical and the monsters were unbelievable and plastic looking. Stephen, no. And there's so many comments and commentary about, season 1 versus season 2. And, we understand, fans feel different ways about it, and we respect everyone's opinions in regards to that. And, that's why I'm definitely taking the time.
And we've also got to respect the time that it was, and that the pressure that they were under, we need more sort of like aliens that look alien. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to get hold of people who've worked on Doctor Who, and have created some weird looking aliens, and try and get that involved. And then, of course, as soon as that happened and they started seeing the episodes, then they were moaning about it and asking them to change back. And it's like, well,
there was so much back and forth. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, we were very fortunate to have a season 2, because if a lot of those changes did not take place from season 1, there would not have been a season 2. And it's something that we're very fortunate to have. And to your point, Isobel, they were being rushed. I mean, it was a 12-month plan to get that done, whereas with year 1, they were going at a slower pace. They did it in 15 months, 16 months. And also that was the reason why they had to double up on some of the episodes. We haven't gotten to the double ups yet. We're going to be coming up on that when we discuss the rules of Luton and the Mark of Arcanon. But there was a lot of pressure coming from ITC New York. And it's just that again, if changes had not been made, there would have been no year 2 for Space 1999. So as we like to say on the show, I mean, we, everybody's welcome to their opinions, and there's
there are lots of fun episodes, and I think as well some of the time, because bloody year 2, and I mean, I've slagged year 2, but I've watched year 1 because I like it more. I watch it more often. So coming to year 2 episodes, there's something a little bit more fresh about them because I've forgotten them. And so I revisited things like the Lambda Factor, for example, and found out I actually quite enjoyed it more than I thought I did. So I think, there's that as well when, you give it another go and you just like, some of it is painful. And I would argue that the Tony's beer being one of them, sorry. It's kind of cute, but on the other hand, it's, why? Just why?
And just like with anything, and this is something, I've talked to Warren about too, and like off screen, and I just want to bring this up because I think that the door, kind of Pandora's box was open this with some of the commentary that we're talking about right now. There are going to be episodes that, whether it be year 1 or year 2, and we've talked about it in year 1 already, but in year 2 that we're not going to like. It's just like it's just the reality. It is not year 2 bashing. It is just essentially saying it's a story that, it was kind of weak for whatever reasons. And again, it's a personal preference. If anybody likes it, wonderful. I mean, that's great. I mean, we're not here passing judgments or anything on anything. And this could be about any show. And I'll use the Star Trek reference. I love Star Trek. And when I say Star Trek, 1966 to 1969.
No bloody A, B, C, or D.
Exactly. And the first 2 seasons are my favorites. The 3rd season, not so much.
Who was the producer again? Sorry?
Freddie Forever.
That's funny because I was going to ask Roy. I mean, and since we're on that topic now, because we all reference Star Trek, but do you feel that there's a Star Trek equivalent to Journey to Where that you could think of?
Star Trek.
I can, and it's third season.
Third season. Well, if you want, Warren, I will go through the 24 episodes of Star Trek from the 3rd season, episode by episode. Yeah. Actually, the one that actually immediately comes to mind is going to be All Our Yesterdays, where they go in the
exactly.
That's the second to last episode of the series, which incidentally is the only episode of Star Trek, like Space 1999, where you never are on the Enterprise. So think about that.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But yes, that would be the equivalent.
But no, that's
But my quick point though is that there's episodes of that show that me personally, I don't like. But that doesn't mean I hate the show. I hate the season. It's just that, I'm not bashing year 3 of Star Trek. It's just that there's episodes that are weak.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's like with season 1, I think, when I was rating them, I'd got a good over half of the episodes I really rate highly for the first season. And when you look at the ratings for the second season, it's not half, it's less than half of them. But I've still got some of my favorites. Yeah. And Journey to Where is one of my favorites because it's so different. And one of the things that I really loved as well, because, let's remember back in the day, we didn't have a lot of additional stuff like we do now. Getting hold of a copy of the making of Space 1999, and we were able to read about what happened and some of the behind the scenes stories that otherwise we wouldn't know about. Absolutely. We were very lucky to be able to get hold of a copy of that. I think they shouldn't have been sold over here, and for whatever reason, we managed to get hold of a copy before they took them off the shelves. But yeah, there's that lovely story about having to get somebody who could speak Gaelic.
Yeah.
And yeah, we want them to be eating something where you might as well just roast a pig, because you want them to look like they're eating that. Well, they might as well eat it. It's probably cheaper to get a real one than try to recreate one. But yeah, those sort of like behind the scenes stories I really enjoyed reading about.
I was so excited, and I think I've told this story before, to get this book. It was in 1977, and we would go down to visit my grandparents in Florida. And what happened was we were on the way back, and we stopped at a Days Inn hotel, and the air conditioning, we got it to the room, and it was probably like 100 degrees out. It was in the summer, and the air conditioning in the room didn't work. And I remember we had to leave and go to another, try to get another room or go somewhere else. And they didn't have any other rooms. So my dad, we were lugging stuff down. And while we were waiting, my mom and I were in the gift shop, and on this like hanger, that spins around. My other one is the original is shot, but this book was there. And I was like, oh my God, and it was like, and then it was like, what, $2 with Valentine books, $1.95, and I said, please, and my mom got it for me, and I was like glued to that book, and I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And they had the episode guide, and then I think the episodes only went, like, they did the table.
They don't know all the way.
Yeah, they didn't have the whole thing because it was during the production of the show, and they had the bios, and they had the
set
photos.
layout, Roy.
Yes.
Set layout changed everything for me when I would watch the episodes, because I knew exactly where they were when they were doing different scenes. And I'm like, you know what I mean? It was like, I just knew, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So this was, and I'm waiting for this to come out. Anderson Entertainment just released this, and
they're doing a revised edition.
And I cannot wait to get that. So it's just, to your point, Isobel, this was $2 well spent.
Oh gosh, yes. Yeah.
But back in the day, it was like waiting for the next Starlog, Roy.
It was.
That's all we had.
That's
for resources.
Exactly. That Starlog, there was no internet. I mean, it's like Starlog was like, I mean, David Hirsch, a friend, and a friend of the show. And I mean, it's just that, everything that he did. And I can't go on to say enough stuff about that. But
yeah, I think I did. I think it was pretty much the same for me. Daz and I used to meet up and go to Andromeda Bookshop in Birmingham and Forbidden Planet in London. And I can't remember which one it was. But I walked in, and it was, like you said, it was on one of these things, like, and it's spinning it round, and there it was, 2 copies, one each. And the pages on mine were falling out. I think we gave it to Katie, so we've still got one, and one's gone to Katie now. So she can read it and enjoy it as well, and not get spoiled by the last 4 episodes, because those aren't covered in the book. I don't think she's watched any of those yet. She's still saving them. 3 or 4
left. She's saving them. Hey, listen, I just had a last-minute submission from our friend Nick McCarty. Now, this in relation to our previous conversation about jackets and year 2 jackets, I'll just bring this up. It's very interesting.
Oh, cool.
See, doesn't that, like, it just, that way you don't need to see the sleeve, and because you can see the collar, and it's a consistent look. I like it a lot.
I like it, Nick. Thanks for sharing. That's great.
It's not a great color though, is it?
Yeah, it's tan. But I'm gonna circle back to that the yellow jacket that Xenia wore, right? Would maybe have been a good fit for the But no, interesting.
Yeah.
Nick does some amazing work. We're gonna at the end of the episode with this new trailer. Big shout out to Nick for his contributions here, because you can see a lot of examples of his work in creating all these elfin worlds and environments, and using some of the latest software like Blender and SketchUp and Unreal Engine, which I think Jeffrey used in Eagle Obsession for certain sequences. So some just remarkable software, and of course, talented people that go along with it. Again, as a fandom 50 years later, wow, we should be so grateful, so thankful for all of this.
Oh, Nick's work is incredible. Catherine Bujold, of course. I can't say enough. I mean, it's such a talent, and it's so wonderful to see it expressed through what you've shared with us. And yeah, thank you, Nick. I know you're out there, and Catherine, when you watch the rewind, thank you. I mean, and for all the other folks out there, but both of you, it's just incredible. I just I can't say enough. Yeah, I love it.
It's one of Catherine's.
I actually have a T-shirt which I've worn. I wear all the time. You know, the convention events, and it's just it's time for me to get a new shirt because they're.
Have you got one as well?
Isabel, that's so funny because actually just this week, my sister Heather gave me this pillow.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
You just went into the Black Sun almost.
Yeah. I think Heather's out there today. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, she said hi. So
lovely.
Hi,
yes, Jeff. I was going to mention those. We got to see those silver jackets that they had introduced in the Black Sun, and then we also see them in Testament of Arcadia. They were really cool too.
Yeah, I like those, but clearly those aren't great as a fit on Barbara Bain because she has the zips with the hip, because of her hips. Yeah. She's all under the zips on them.
Because even Professor Bergman puts it around her. She doesn't put it on. Yeah.
But didn't Barbara also have a very special tunic manufactured for year 2? Did she not?
She did, where the zipper was in the back.
Yeah.
There's no zipper on the side.
The sleeve.
The sleeve, because I think, if I remember correctly, it was uncomfortable for her, so they did that for year 2.
And didn't she have silk sleeves as well?
Oh, she might have.
They wouldn't have worked with the zipper if it had been silk, would it?
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
I think so.
And Martin's pants did not have the zipper on the side either. Believe it or not, you know how the zippers are on all the pants. His does not. If you look, that was the other difference. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're standing next to a radiator, it get hot. You know, wouldn't necessarily be a good thing, would it? So you can see why.
So both Landau and Bain sort of bucked the whole Rudy Gernreich design.
Yeah, it was just modified.
Yeah.
Well, and nobody would notice. Let's be realistic, right?
Yeah.
What's your name? Fred Freiberger.
Nobody will notice.
Did he have pockets in his trousers? Wow.
Interesting, Stephen.
Oh.
Interesting. See, we all find this all out here.
Yeah.
No, there's lots of great comments coming in. Lots of
people
out there following. Yeah.
Hey, do we know who's got Martin's trousers? Does Andrew or anyone have those? I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question. Somebody out there would know that.
Yeah.
So
if Andrew hasn't got,
I was going to say if I'm pretty sure Andrew's got a few complete costumes. Yeah,
his collection is amazing, and just the way he came about some of that stuff too is amazing. But it's wonderful how he brings everything to the events, and is willing to allow folks to to see everything close up and everything. It's wonderful that all the folks that have allowed the access to the original items. Can't say enough about Andrew, James Winch, also Daryl Simmons, Chris Trice. I mean, and folks I'm not mentioning. I mean, just wonderful, wonderful people.
Simon Rhodes,
Simon Rhodes, and let's not forget Martin Willie.
Martin Willie. Oh yeah, absolutely. Loads. Like I said, there's people I'm going to miss, but
and he had his sort of like tucked away in just like in storage basically for years, and I think he's now transported it to Belgium. So whether he'd be able to bring any over, I don't know. But
down through the years, Phil Ray, who was the the curator of
yeah.
many of these pieces for years and years, and I think it was Phil who actually rescued
David
a lot of
Hirsch
it out.
also.
the Moonbase Alpha model out of the garbage bin. Incredible.
Yeah, essentially out of a skip. Was it after
Can you imagine?
after the Blackpool exhibition had closed or something, or is that just legend?
It was when Blackpool was
That's very
closing down, or the exhibit was coming to an end. You're right. I was meaning to ask you, Isobel, were you able to go to Blackpool when it was on? You were, yeah. It's just another
you were there.
Amazing experience, right, as a fan to be able to see this exhibit.
It was done for a little while, and I think at first there was an escalator that you went up, and it was almost like you were going into the moon base or something like that, and I didn't see it then. I saw it afterwards. I think at first you were greeted by Brian the Brain or something. There was something that didn't work when I saw it, but yeah, Brian Brain was there. There were eagles, there were loads of beautiful photographs, and I tried taking photos of the photos, but of course I got loads of flash, and my photos were crap. But yeah, I went with another fan, and so I sort of like went and stayed with her, and then her dad drove us up to Blackpool for the day so that we could go to the
was that right in London? Was that outside? Was that in London or
Blackpool?
No, it was in Blackpool.
Blackpool. I'm sorry.
Blackpool exhibition.
Is Blackpool near London is what I should have said.
Absolutely not.
It's closer to Manchester.
It's close to Manchester.
That's one of the things that I've been sort of contemplating, is maybe going to Blackpool,
right,
to see where the exhibit was.
This is where it was years ago.
Yeah. Drive by, do a drive by and a wave.
Yeah.
Isobel, what year was that? What year did that take place?
Oh gosh, I met Julie in 1980 when I went to a Star Trek convention in Coventry, and she was dressed as an ensign from Star Trek. I got talking to a really friendly girl, and she introduced me to Eileen and Phil, and that's when I met them, and it would have been May 1980.
Oh, wow.
Wow, 46 years ago already. Jeez.
Yes. And I don't, so it wouldn't have been that long after that, I don't think. I think it was that summer or something.
That's crazy.
That we went.
So much time's gone by.
But yeah, and at the same con, there was this woman walking around with this jacket, and I was thinking, well, that's a really shoddy remake. No, that was Pat Jenkins, and yes, that was really Martin's actual jacket. And the reason it didn't fit properly was because it was his and not hers. So
that's crazy.
Amazing. Hey, I just want to mention real quick for anybody out there, we're in the home stretch, I guess, of the episode today, and in regards to the breakaway draw for the 4K, head on over to www.space99950years.com and pick up a subscription to Manchester, and you'll be entered into the draw. I will say that your odds are going to be very, very good. So just a reminder, it was all off on the fly anyway. I mean, yeah, it's not a big deal, but we'd mentioned Nick McCarty and his work a few moments ago here, folks, and so I did want to also bring up just a graphic that hit the interwebs yesterday, and it's blown up. I can't believe how many views I got on it. Nick actually put this one together as well, and it's going to tie into watching that new trailer here in just a few moments' time. But really, really nice and haunting imagery here for Return to Moonbase Alpha. And Roy, I'm not sure if you've seen this yet or not. He sent it to me yesterday, and so, but it's got over 1,000 interactions already in
wow
24 hours.
Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? Do you remember the artwork for Space 2099?
Sure.
Whatever it was called.
Yep.
And it kind of has the feel of that for me. as well.
It does. There's echoes there, Isobel, for sure. Yeah. The other thing, I'll just this was a little trivia question for Roy, because I didn't see it right away, but Nick told me the inspiration for this was actually based on another very, very famous movie poster from back in the 1970s. Any ideas, Roy?
A movie poster from the 1970s. Interesting.
Yep.
Do I get a hint?
Not Alien.
I'll just drop it here. Give me a second. As soon as you see it, you're going to go, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Oh, Jaws.
Oh okay. Gosh, yeah.
Somebody said Martin actually put in Jaws before you put that up there. Yeah.
There you go.
You know, one thing that it reminded me of a little bit, and I thought it was inspirational too, was Nick, your work. I mean, I was telling Warren about it when I was seeing the images the other day, and it really resonated with me. I really liked it, and I've seen different images that you've posted, and what he's put together, it really flowed nicely. But it kind of reminded me a little bit of Another Time, Another Place, because Alpha had been basically shut down, and what happens is our Alphans, our Koenig and Alan visit the moon, and everything is basically it's like a ghost town because it's been evacuated, Operation Exodus and everything. And then they see the crashed Eagle on the surface where they had died 5 years earlier. Yep. So I was actually picking up bits of that with, it resonated with me from that. So it's like an inspiration, but really it really feels true to life, because it's like, what would happen over a period of time? Everything has been taken away,
the moon dust,
and it's turned exactly the moon dust, and time has marched on, and yeah, it's haunting. Haunting is a really good term for that.
Before we sort of move off completely off Journey to Where, one of the things that I wanted to sort of reference was the music.
Yes.
Because would this by now have been one of the episodes that wasn't scored? Because did he only scored the first 4, didn't he?
Yeah, he did Metamorph, Exiles. Oh boy, I'm blanking. Metamorph, Exiles, the Tabor.
Yeah, the Tabor, believe it or not.
Wow.
And One Moment.
One Moment. I think you're right.
Yeah. So the first 3 and then
the dance music, which was separate. But yeah, because one of the things that really struck me watching the episode was when they're sort of like trapped behind the fire. I mean, like, a good 6 feet behind the fire. And which wasn't going to get to them anytime soon.
Right.
And there's that dramatic music. Yeah. And I remember seeing the rescored Seed of Destruction, where they've used the season 1 music. And I just think there's the music that they've got, that sort of like, it doesn't match at all. I mean, it's trying to be sort of like, oh no, and oh, they're in jeopardy, but it's too action oriented for the jeopardy that they're in, which is essentially being trapped and not running around. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, that's interesting, because what it reminds me of, Isobel, is you see throughout year 1, you see Barry Gray only scored a handful of episodes as well. But
but he had a whole back catalogue.
Well, he did. But that's what was my point, is that the music designer, I think it was Alan Willis or Vic Elms, what they would do is that for particular episodes, sure, they'd reincorporate Barry's work if it was applicable, but then they also tapped into the back catalog of library pieces, right? Which maybe they could have done a little more in year 2. Just to mix things up a little bit, because I mean, Derek's work is wonderful, but it did, definitely have that. It was a product of its times, that disco sort of feel and beat that, would have worked very well in certain instances. But maybe
I don't have a problem with his music, and I actually quite if I'm gonna hum the theme tune, it's season 2 theme tune.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's the one I love season 1 theme tune, don't get me wrong, but the one you can sing along and go, yeah, that's space, is season for me, I don't know why, is season 2. So I do enjoy his music, but it's just that, you know, the jeopardy that they were in at that point, which they weren't because they were miles away from the fire. So it's how many logs did they put in front of those people? They would have made the fire closer to them. But it was just the wrong music. I don't know. It just felt really weird.
To your point about the music, though, I love the piece when it comes back from the intro, and then there, you know, it's in the main credits. And I think it's almost like, I don't know if it's a violin. I'm really bad at. Ross is the one that's really he's got the ear for everything. But it's just that it's such a nice piece of music in the intro of the episode. It's so well done. And then I'm always to your point, that music when they're doing the fire, it's like dun 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 dun. You know, it's like that's the build-up music that they're using, you know, with the fire and everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, Helena, reach out as far as you can, you know, and doing that whole thing.
And she's going like, I was like, oh, for God's sake, woman, you can reach further than that.
I mean, to be fair, Martin Landau, I mean, he's like this, you know, he's like 6'3", and he's got, you know, he's like, you know, his reach is like incredible. So it's like, you know, it's lucky that, you know, he's where he is, and it's not like, you know, no offense to, you know, Alan, but if he was next to, not next to Helena, or, you know, if he needed to do it, it wouldn't have worked. But also, the other music that I love is that end piece that they always, you know, that they use where, and it's from the first episode, you know, the Metamorph, you know, where, you know, that it's such a nice, you know, melancholy music, and it's just,
and maybe that's why it jumps out and grates so much, because the rest of it is nicely done. Yeah.
It is very, very out of place. Yeah, definitely. Hey, listen, I got some other submissions here just last minute, and we had mentioned not only Nick's work, but Catherine Bougeot. And you know what? I mean, guys, I had a conversation with Catherine last night, actually, where she sent me these images, and it's truly remarkable where all things are going with AI. And when you this is just a beautiful.
I saw these posted just earlier this morning, and I love the sun in the background too.
I know.
When it comes to shots like that, I'm such a, you know, almost like a romantic when it comes to that. And it's gorgeous, absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah, it's really remarkable how far it's come just in the last couple of years, and to speculate as to where it's going in the near future.
Yeah, in the last 3 years, it's really evolved. No questions asked about that. One of the other comments, and because I know we're going to be winding down soon too, but in regards to Journey to Where, the whole thing too with the monitoring devices, this is the only time we actually get to see the watches. I mean, the watches were such an integral part in the first series. It's a shame that they didn't utilize them more in year 2. But it was nice. It was kind of cool to see that, you know, they're there in some capacity. And thankfully, I mean, obviously it's a plot device, but it's a plot device that works. And what I liked is that Maya, because, you know, this could have been very questionable, and they pointed it out early on after they were lost. Maya says to Dr. Logan, okay, you find, and I don't remember the exact quote, but the whole thing is Koenig, Helena, and Alan, they don't have a transference dome. How are they going to get back? And then he said, you reverse the magnetic particles on your transference dome, and they'll be returned back to Alpha. So at least that was explained, because that would have been like, how the heck are they going to get back? You know what I mean? It's like, how's that going to work? So at least they acknowledged that, and they had that in the script. So I thought that was good.
Yeah,
I think those watches, Roy, were picked up by the production of Star Trek: The Motion Picture and used about the same length of time.
Yeah, I was not a fan of those in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's like, give me the communicators. The communicators and the comm locks are my favorite props in sci-fi, and it's like you totally threw disregarded the communicators in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. But that's another discussion for another time.
Another time, another place.
Another time, another
place. And so, has anyone ever been to a trivia quiz where they've been asked what year Bannockburn was? Because we all know the answer, don't we?
1339.
No.
No.
14.
Minus 1314, because you've got to add 25.
Plus 25.
Bannockburn plus 25 is 1339.
Exactly. Warren.
It's funny, but you guys have probably noted right away in a couple of different edits of that first trailer with Anton that we did for Return to Moonbase Alpha, I used Breakaway plus 50. And that was sort of a nod to that type of dating things from Journey to Where.
Yay.
So.
Yeah, Dr. Sam Beckett.
Yes.
There we go. Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
Gotta love Spock. Scott Bakula is excellent in that role, as he was in Enterprise. We've been rewatching Enterprise, and actually, I'm really enjoying that. But
never watched the entire series. Still,
I had not either. I actually had only seen
what?
one.
How far have you gotten, Roy? Just since we last spoke about it.
For Enterprise, 2/3 the way through season 3.
Okay. Okay. All right. And it's really once you get to season 4, I think I've told you this. It really takes off, and it was really unfortunate it was cut short after 4 seasons, because they bring on a new writer and showrunner for season 4, and it is amazing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I did see the last episode, and I know what happens with that, which total letdown. But that's a whole discussion for another time, another place. Hey, Mark. Mark's out there. Welcome, Mark. Great to see you out there. And he said, love those images.
And you know what? I was going to mention Mark earlier when we were talking about all the old exhibits in Blackpool, because Mark has a very interesting story where I think back in the day, he actually met Jerry Anderson at Blackpool. There was a contest or something that he entered, and he ended up winning.
He entered the look in.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
I'm not bitter. I don't know.
You knew exactly what I was talking about.
To be honest, but,
yeah, I know how that can be.
Hilarious, but just so many cool opportunities for everybody over there that obviously weren't offered to us over here in North America, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember reading about the first Space 1999 convention, and I was doing triple takes. I'm like, what? Ohio? And it said save 1999, and I'm like, wait a minute. Is this Space 1999? It's not like Los Angeles. It's not, first off, not England, not Los Angeles. Yeah. Why not New York, but it's in Ohio of all places? Go figure. But I was 12?
Yeah.
78, so it wasn't happening.
Dallas, what was your favorite first event over there? Like your fan interaction? Well, maybe it was Blackpool.
Isobel, not Dallas.
I'm sorry.
It's in the other room. The first convention was a day convention that I went to, and it was an Omicron day. Omicron was a misnomer. It was a misprint. It should have been Omicron from Omicron Ceti. It was a Star Trek thing.
Omicron Ceti 3.
Ceti 3. Right. And
the spores.
So the girl that was sort of like running that fan club, they put in an ad saying that that it was also for Space 1999. So they had a Space 1999 section. So a lot of us, like Paul Stankovich, myself, Dallas, a lot of fans that go way back in the UK will have seen that in Mark. I don't know if you did as well. Will have seen that advert in Lookin and joined that fan club. And she had I think it was in 1979, and she had this sort of like, in the local church hall, and it was just fans getting together, and that's the first one I went to. And so I travelled down to Bristol on the train to go to that. And one of the people that would have been there would have been Martin Willey, because he was a neighbour of Tracy, who was the person who ran the fan club. And then the first one that I went to, Fanderson, was the first ever Fanderson, which was in 1981.
Wow.
And obviously that was all of Jerry and Sylvia Anderson's stuff.
Yeah.
Although they couldn't mention Sylvia at the time because they were in communication with Jerry, and never the twain shall meet. So yeah, it was Jerry's club as then was. So yeah, and Jerry Anderson was at that convention with Mary, his wife. Barry Gray was there, I think. He certainly was at the second. If he wasn't at the first one, he was at the second one. So
that was 81. That was 45 years ago. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And that was in Leeds, and then the second one was in London the next year in 82. So yeah.
That's so cool. You got to experience that. Wow.
Such a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, I used, like I was saying earlier, I mean, we were all talking about Starlog. I mean, I used to live vicariously through the, just reading what was going on there. And even with that, it was not consistent, because there were times where David didn't have the what was it? It was Jerry Anderson's Space Report.
Space Report.
It was not, and there would, I'd be going right for that, and then it wasn't in there. I'd be like, it got skipped for whatever reasons. And
yeah,
I talked to David about that too, and he just said, sometimes Jerry was just tied up, and there wasn't enough material, and it just, it didn't happen. But it was something really to look forward to, though.
At least they had something, though, because over here in the UK, we had Starburst, which came out kind of same-ish sort of time, and it didn't have anything about space in it at all. It was really depressing in comparison.
No coverage.
Well, no, and to your point, Isobel, that actually happened here. I mean, once the show went off the air, if it wasn't for the Space Report, we were pretty much done. And the other magazines just were not talking about 1999. There was nothing in regards to conventions that were going on. I mean, I remember going to a Star Trek convention. It was my first one. It was in New Brunswick, New Jersey. It was in '86. It was like 40 years ago. And they put up a slide to Space 1999, and I went, yeah! And then hardly anybody was like reacting to it. And then I was like, oh boy. It's like, but it was like, hey, you know what? One of my favorite shows. It's like, I know it was a Star Trek convention, but oh well. But there wasn't a lot of stuff going on with it. Martin Landau was supposed to be at a Creation Con in, I think it was 87 or 88 at the Penta Hotel in New York. And I was so excited. And then what happened was he canceled. And I was just like, oh. But
you know what? Did the same in 99. My friend that went was absolutely gutted. Lainey was so desperate to meet him, and then he didn't turn up.
I know, that was such a disappointment.
He almost canceled in 2012 as well. I remember like a couple days before they made an announcement.
They didn't think he was going to turn up, and then he did. Yeah.
Funny with that event, I had delivered him the invite, because Rosie had made it up and everything, sent it to me, and I handed it to him because he was at Chiller Theater, because he was doing the Chiller conventions, and I gave it to him, and it to your point, Warren, at the last minute he rescinded it, and he showed up, but Paul said, Mark Anthony Craig, I'm hoping to go to the Manchester 1999 con. It will be my first ever, despite being a massive fan since childhood. Only problem is I can't remember when it is or where in Manchester it's being held. Warren, I think that's where you interviewed.
Yes. You for an update, Warren.
Nice segue, Roy. Thank you. It's very interesting. Well, of course, it's been known for quite some time there, Paul, that we are going to be getting together over Breakaway weekend again this year in and around Manchester. So the official dates are going to be the 11th to the 13th. Interesting that Breakaway Day is actually the Sunday this time out. So that could, impact our programming and scheduling a little bit, because we want to, of course, get together with a number of people, even virtually this time out, that we pulled last year, where it was a lot of fun talking to the Italian event at the same time. But, I was thinking that in Manchester, on the Sunday evening, usually when everything is wrapped, that's going to be a good time to hold a virtual, because in North America, it's going to be midday.
Oh, right. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, and just with the idea of involving everybody and making everybody feel inclusive. Right. So, having said that, so the 11th to the 13th, we're also going to have some day trips on either side of that again. Stay tuned for some more information there. As to the hotel, there's been a lot of interest, and we are still early on in the game here. But just within the last week, I can sort of almost say that we've narrowed down the final hotel. There's a couple other things that we do have to check and confirm. So this isn't 100%.
So is it going to be in on the outskirts of Manchester?
It'll be on the outskirts.
Airport, or?
Yes. So it'll be on the outskirts. It won't be at the airport. So essentially, it's going to be a little bit of a drive. It's not that much further than, say, if you drove from the airport right to the middle of town. It's going to be, I think it's 7 miles or something, but it's not going to be into town. It's going to be on the east side of Manchester.
Okay.
It's close to a place called Oldham. You're probably familiar with.
My mother was born there, so yeah,
wow.
I've heard of it.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'd never heard of that after week. So Oldham, and again, it's not 100%, but okay. There's a very, very good candidate that we're looking at for September. Your mom was born there. That's amazing.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of Oldham? Yeah.
Sorry. I'm from Canada, eh?
Yeah,
that's 3 strikes, Warren.
It's the other thing he says is, oh, it's not very far, and it's like, yeah, but you don't know what our roads are like. And the M60 is as bad as the M25. I mean, it's the M25 of the north. The M60 is just
it's funny that you mentioned the M60, because I have been looking at a lot of maps. So yeah,
you know what I'm talking about then.
Yeah, you're on to something there.
Yeah. Will it be close to the tram lines or public transport?
Couldn't say for sure at this point.
I thought you were looking at maps.
I'm just looking at rough distances. I take my fingers like this, and I hold it up to the map and go, oh yeah, it's not that far.
So Warren, let me ask you a question, because I know nothing in regards to this. So is the hotel, you said it's on the outskirts of Manchester, but is it in a town, or actually in a town itself? Or
well, Isobel would be probably better off to be the one to answer that, because isn't Oldham essentially like a suburb of Manchester? Okay, heavy sigh.
No. No, it isn't. It's a town in its own right.
It's a town.
Okay. Is it a big town, Isobel?
You know, it depends. No, it's not a big town. But it depends if it's on the outskirts of that, area or whatever.
But is there a lot of public transportation within that town?
That's what I was just wondering.
Or
it is on the tram link.
Okay. So there is
Manchester,
a train,
which is what I wanted to know.
Okay.
But yes, trams do run there from central Manchester.
Like I said, I know nothing, so I'm just trying to visualize this myself.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
That's my disclaimer to stay off the hook. I know nothing.
Well, everybody out there, just be watching, because we're probably going to make that announcement within a couple of weeks here. And then, of course, we'll have a couple of weeks beyond that. We'll have everything set up to book the, in the a block of rooms that we'll have set aside. So.
Gotcha. Well, thanks for sharing that, Warren. Jeff, take care. Thanks for tuning in with us. We appreciate it. And Martin just said a 30-pound plus taxi ride from the airport.
Don't know.
We don't know.
No, it's only that much, Martin.
Yeah, Martin understands what the roads are like over here.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I get it. Yeah. Every place is different logistically. I mean, 7 miles here in the US could be totally 7-mile difference in the UK and also different in Canada. It's the way everything is set up. But
yeah, we don't believe in straight roads. That's the problem.
No, and I actually got to experience
built
that.
from lanes that were, wandered by cows at some point in the past.
Definitely scenic. I'll definitely give you that.
Yeah,
it's very, very scenic. I'm just trying to think of any other things that we didn't discuss in regards to Journey to Where. I mean, we really covered a lot in regards to the episode and a lot of firsts. Did you notice? I think I brought this up on another discussion, but I thought it was interesting that and you kind of smile about it, but where Tony had his beer set up was actually in the medical center. Did you catch that?
Yep.
No, I didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
All you have to do is reference the set layout in the Making of Space 1999 to know that one.
Not only that, but even in the when Tony and Mai are in there, you can see the beds in the background too.
Okay.
Yeah. So I need
to rewatch it again. Oh no.
So I thought that was interesting.
Roy, they also use that area, I believe, in Lambda Factor.
Yes. Yep.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. That's
So
weird, isn't it? It's probably because of the effects of Tony's beer. So.
Well, that's I think I made the joke a couple of weeks ago that they were in medical because the beer was of course classed as unfit for human consumption, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought that was cute when Maya says, hey, this stuff isn't bad after all. She's trying to get drunk. And that was that scene between when Alan has the beer and he says on an ascendant scale he gives it a 2 out of 10.
Pilot.
Pilot. And then Tony says that to him later on again at the end of the episode. That was funny. But so trying to think of anything else we didn't cover in regards to it. The technology, no eagles, obviously, in this episode. And the other thing that is a standout for this episode that it also happens that does not happen. Well, actually, I should say that does not happen in this episode. And it does not happen in another episode is that there is no alpha recording. There's no Helena giving a status report.
A log update.
Yeah, there's not. This is not in this episode. And then there's another episode where that does not happen as well. So
it goes straight into it with the voice, doesn't it?
It's a very hard open because you hear Dr. Logan's narration right away. Or no,
actually, it's not Dr. Logan. It's Isla Blair's character.
It's Isla Blair's character. I'm sorry.
Yeah. That was the other thing that I was kind of bummed about, but I guess they were just
Carla.
Carla, thank you. As that they didn't do a interface where the Alphans could see them. Now, you could turn around and say, well, it wasn't possible, but they were transmitting images of Earth and what cities look like. So it's interesting that they didn't do some kind of communication where they could actually see them, because I think that would have really been interesting to see humans since they broke away from Earth, because this is really the first update that they've had in regards to the status of Earth since they broke away. I mean, where the last transmission that they received was when they were tapping into that news commentator and finding out about what had happened when the moon broke out of the Earth's orbit
in Yugoslavia and other places.
So this is really the first time they actually had direct communication, and it's I don't know, that kind of could have been a missed opportunity. That could have been something that could have been added to the script. I mean, they went in the direction they did, but I think that would have been kind of cool if they had face-to-face visual communication.
Maybe it was a cost-saving exercise.
That could be too. Yeah. Steven said, wasn't the transport the glass cabinet from Mission of the Darien?
Yeah, I was wondering about that, because the handle, you see that sort of cabinet thing.
Yep.
A few times, don't you?
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah,
Huh.
I think I thought that as well.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, not only have we got a Dorian, Ariel Airbringer from Ariel.
Right.
But we've got the cabinet as well.
The bringers of oxygen.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny you're bringing that up. I mean, we can save that for later, but that was one of the things that, I mean, and that's a plot device. We can talk about that later. Actually, it doesn't pertain to this episode. It's something, this episode will pertain to another episode, but we'll save that for another day.
Don't forget, I'm going to jog your memory, Roy.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So, well, listen, we're coming up on 2 hours. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you both so much for.
No, thank you. Thank you for putting this together, and thank you, Isobel, for joining us. And no, this is fun. This is always great. And I know you've got some cool announcements to give, Warren. Before we do that, because I know we are up against the clock, Isobel, anything that you would like to share with the audience about anything, stuff that's going on, or things you're looking forward to for the year to come, or just anything?
I didn't know if you wanted me to do a little more of a.
Oh, absolutely,
absolutely.
Oh, look at the storyboards you got.
Nice
storyboard, which I was trying to show. But
which one is that from? It looks like AB Chrysalis.
There's a few different ones there. It looks like.
Yeah, it's AB Chrysalis.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fallen down a bit. So
yeah.
So cool.
Nice. You would have. Oh yeah.
Very nice.
You would have got the storyboards again from Jim.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And got a few pictures on the wall, and
beautiful.
So, what else have we got? A bit of collection there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and don't ask, but
Dr. Crusher.
Yeah, Dr. Crusher, just random. So, with the like you get badges from your cons. So all of our badges are hanging around her neck.
Oh,
okay, nice. So
it's a good place to keep the badges. So
yeah. I think that Dr. Crusher and Dr. Russell would have gotten along.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, surely. There you go.
No, very nice collection. That's very impressive.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that. Very cool.
I haven't shown you the other bookcase, but it's got books in. So
awesome.
The Italian photo novelizations.
Nice.
Well. Cool.
Very cool.
I'm just having a final look here, and so it doesn't look like we're going to be able to spin the wheel of fun today, Roy, because nobody entered.
Oh.
But that's okay. It was very last minute. Like, I didn't post anything online about it, so I
there you go. That's something to.
Yeah.
That's something for next.
Thank you.
The next live broadcast that we do.
We're gonna find a use for this. Don't worry. So, but
no, it won't go to waste.
Maybe the next thing. Thank you, David.
Birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
When's your birthday coming up?
It was on Monday.
Oh, we missed it. I missed it. I'm sorry. Happy belated.
You didn't. You said happy birthday on Facebook. It's fine.
Did I?
Yeah, but it's not the same. At least we're able to say
right. I did.
And so did Heather. Thank you.
Because birthday greetings on Facebook are so sincere, right?
Yeah. Written for you by AI.
Yeah. click.
I try to make them a little personable.
Yeah, I do. If I remember, which is just.
Yeah. I want to give a shameless plug for my show, Warren. So if anybody out there, I do Roy's Tie-Dye Sci-Fi Corner. It is on Fridays and Sundays, and I'm actually this is going to be the 292nd episode. coming up on episode 300. I'm trying to time it out for Friday, April 3rd, and that was the first episode. But anyway, tonight I'm going to be doing The Outer Limits, and it's a 2-part episode called The Inheritors, and that'll be at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I know if you're in the UK, it's like, well, it's 7 p.m. now in the UK, so it's going to be 5 hours. It's going to be like midnight your time. But anyway, if you want to stay up and watch it, or if you're in North America or someplace where it's not too late, or whatever. But in fact, there's a lot of connections to original series Star Trek with that, because there's a lot of guest actors that were in that episode. And the big one is Steve Annett, who played Captain Garth in the 3rd season episode, Whom Gods Destroy. He's one of the stars. And then the episode that I'm doing is a tribute to Robert Duvall, who passed away last week. And he is the star of the episode. So, and actually, there's a Canadian actor, Warren, that is in that episode, and Shakespearean background and very well known. And his name is escaping me at the moment. But
are you madly Googling it?
I'm madly Googling it. And I think his first name is Don. I think it's Don Huron. But he, Donald Huron. Well, at least I got it. He's also in that episode. And then if you are a diehard fan,
familiar. Was he in TOS?
James, no, he was in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. But Steve Annett was in Star Trek, and he was Captain Garth. Isobel probably, I'm sure, remembers that episode.
Gotcha. Whom Gods Destroy.
Whom Gods Destroy. Sadly, he died at a very young age. He was only 38 years old when he passed, and he died in 1972. And he had, I believe, a heart condition going on. But like I said, he was only 38, but brilliant actor, though. And I believe he lived in Canada for some time. He was Yugoslavian, but he was raised in Canada. So again, another Canadian.
Yeah. Huh.
But anyway, thanks for the shameless plug. I appreciate it.
Oh no problem. I always have to marvel at the fact that Barry Morris was actually Canadian.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So born in London.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, listen, we got a couple other pages here to talk about, Roy, and no problem. On that plug, your show has been running for the better part of 4 or 5 years now, and what you've done there in building that network of viewership and connecting people is just marvelous.
No, thanks. Yeah, it's coming. It'll be the 6th year anniversary, if you can believe that. I did that just to bring people together because of COVID, because we were also separated and talked about sci-fi. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So, also it's on YouTube and Facebook. So yeah, that's but thank you for that.
Oh yeah, you bet. So listen, really quickly. So we touched on the draw, not going to happen this time out, and just to, sorry, I got a cough. I apologize. We talked about Nick McCarty's work with that new graphic for Return to Moonbase Alpha, and I'm sure everybody is out there has seen the really nice trailer we put together with Anton for the premiere back in London. And so we have another new. I'm even hesitant to call it a trailer. It's funny. Catherine Peugeot used the term short yesterday, and so I'm going to call this one a short. It's sort of designed to happen a little earlier than Anton's report, if you will. So within the Terra Alpha time frame or timeline, if you will, since Message from Moonbase Alpha 25 years ago. And this one is actually very different in tone than Anton's trailer. So it's very evocative of a lot of the haunting and mystery that came along with quite a few of the year one episodes, Roy. So it's sort of I really wanted to sort of pay homage to one of my favorite episodes, and considering the journey that the Alphans have taken and where they've been, where they're going, and of course the whole idea, the concept of Return to Moonbase Alpha is exactly that. With Nick's character, of course, I mean, he is the crux of the story. So I wanted to sort of highlight where a lot of his motivation came from, say, in his years living on Terra Alpha, and provide an interesting and thought-provoking look at his journey down through the years. So with that, Isobel, are you ready?
Bated breath here. Come on.
After that build up, come on, Warren. Hit the play button.
So we'll just launch right into it, and thank you to everybody out there for supporting this project, and it's going to be a fun journey even throughout 2026 as we finally see this project come to fruition. So without further ado,
we have expected you for many millions of years. I have been feeling chocolate.
What will happen to us?
You shall continue on. Your odyssey shall know no end. You will prosper and increase in new worlds, new galaxies. You will populate the deepest reaches of space. You see, your destiny has always been our destiny. Alan Carter. It is I, Alan, who need your help now.
Ara, she called. Where is she?
I love the video. That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Ara, she called. Where is she? In the other room, eating dreamies. Probably it's around the time we usually give her cat treats. Sorry to ruin the mood.
That's okay. That's okay. And David just pointed out, yeah, there's a little nod there.
I love the nod to UFO.
UFO nod.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So hang on a minute. That's okay.
That's
it's
an
subtle.
interceptor.
It's subtle, but yeah. Blink and you miss it moment.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I love Collision Course, and you know that.
Would they have left that many eagles behind?
Yeah, I know. It's and you know what? But I've thought a lot about this just in the last 48 hours, right? And with Nick's work there, the visuals were all done by Nick, of course, and so you know, I just basically framed it around the idea of it's a fever dream of Alan Carter's, right? And that also goes to explain why the AI isn't perfect. And if you really watch, like, you'll see weird things happening in the background of the corridors and the walls and things like that. But framed as a dream, it's like
I saw a compost kind of like evaporate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But to your point, it's a dream when we, you know, things aren't going to be stable. So that adds to the effect. Which is
Would it be like that?
Right. And yeah, even the weathering and you know, I had a lot of discussion about this. I mean, in the vacuum of space, the base would look more like another time, another place where things were preserved as opposed to weathered. But again, it's a dream. And
if it's a dream, then
and but ultimately it's you know, something calling Alan back, right? And providing a little context as to maybe some of his motivations. So there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Very, very cool.
Thank you. And yeah, nice catch there, Dave, on the interceptors.
Yeah.
So I just also wanted to mention as well that yesterday I did create a brand new page for Return to Moonbase Alpha on Facebook. So if you haven't found it or stumbled upon it yet, make sure to follow, and we'll have all the updates current and provided on the new Return to Moonbase Alpha page on Facebook. And of course, Roy, leading into over the next few weeks as well, we're finally going to get around to launching a Kickstarter for the project come April 1st. So there will be a lot of updates throughout the month of March, and new trailers, new posters and graphics, all promoting hopefully what will be a successfully funded campaign come April. It'll run throughout the month of April, so be watching for that as well.
Cool beans.
Is this going to be premiered at the convention, or
probably not? So we're aiming for late 26, early 27.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunately not going to be ready in time, but hopefully by the end of the year, a nice Christmas treat to go along with a brand new convention booklet as well that we've done a couple years in a row now as well. So, but I appreciate to hear everybody's feedback on that as well. Even insofar as launching the Kickstarter, I mean, you have the ability to upload a video for a Kickstarter, and I'm just not sure if I'd use that one or if I'd use the Anton one, or just to sort of tease a little bit, there might actually be a third short coming down the pipe with some dialogue or narration again from maybe one of the actors. So be watching for that over the next month as well.
Sounds good.
Interesting.
Stay tuned. Oh, and just so you know, Leffer said, can you please send the new Facebook page somehow, the link to it? Maybe put it in the comment section, or so folks can just kind of click on that.
Yes, I will try here over the next couple seconds if you guys want to wrap things up.
Yeah, that sounds good. Also, Mark was saying his birthday is next Saturday. Happy early birthday, Mark. So hope your birthday is a good one. And that would be on the 28th.
We'll raise a glass of Tony's beer to you.
Yeah. Let me see here. Just catching up on information. Stephen commented, Peter Duncan also appeared in a memorable episode. Yes, The Exiles. In fact, he was at the convention in the UK, even. And Peter Duncan, really, really nice guy. Very, very nice. And he was great with the fans.
Yes. And when he was talking to Chris Potter, and Chris actually got him to FaceTime Chris's wife, because she wouldn't have forgiven Chris. It had left that opportunity, because obviously Peter Duncan.
Oh,
yay.
Thanks for sharing.
There we go. Yep.
Excellent.
No problem. Yeah, no, of course, Peter was there, and we talked about Julian and Isla a little earlier as well. They were lovely to meet.
They were great. They were such fun.
Wonderful.
She was really nice.
Yeah. Everybody was. It's nary a time that I can recall where as Space 1999 fans, we've had a negative experience or encounter with one of the celebrities. Everybody's just really so friendly and inviting, open, and sincere. So yeah,
good times for sure. Alrighty, so I guess we'll start to wind down, and we are at 2 hours and 5 minutes, so timing was good. This worked out really well. Isabel, thank you so much for joining us.
No worries.
Great.
Always happy to talk about a favorite episode. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course.
Do you want to come back and talk about the Tabor next week?
Mate, it's one of my favorites.
Warren, just let the genie out of the bottle.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, next week's is episode number 6. I will leave it at that. Excellent music.
Oh, there are fun bits to it. Come
Oh
on.
yeah, definitely. And you know what? I mean, Roy, and we didn't talk about it, but in relation to Starlog, there's a famous a picture in Starlog that also fascinated me, and that was the Catherine Shell robot with her face blown off, right? And although when I saw that in Starlog, I hadn't even remembered that or that episode in particular. It's something that always stuck in my mind.
Plus the other, Helena wearing the one shoulder dress.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But with the dark color. And I think that color suits her better than the pink that she danced in. So
Helena looks beautiful in that dress. That is a redeeming quality for that characteristic for that episode. that gives it. I give 2 thumbs up for that.
Yeah.
And I'll save the rest for next week because
And I can't believe we have got through over 2 hours with the theme being Journey to Where, and nobody has mentioned shut up, Helena, and eat your fungus. How?
Well, that as well as the other famous reference that fans make to this day is Helena saying the moon, John.
It's the moon.
Right.
I love that sequence. I think that it's great. Thanks for bringing that up, because that's something I was trying to do the mental checklist of everything that we talked about, and we totally missed that.
Yeah.
Even John thinks that she's delirious and everything, but it's just that she's really seeing the moon.
She sounds it, but she's seeing it.
But the effect itself was so cool too, because I mean, and you think about it, they are on Earth and they're seeing the moon for okay, you could say a matter of life and death. They saw the moon, through the clouds and everything, but really, this is probably the first time since that they've actually seen the moon in that capacity. I think since that episode. And how cool is that? And they're on Earth, and they don't realize they're on Earth until Koenig and Alan have the discussion, and then they even reference
bits of the moon.
The mountain could almost be Copernicus, and then he says the Mare Imbrium above it, and referencing 1999 when they was blown out of the Earth's orbit, and that was pretty cool. So thanks for bringing that up, Isobel. One of the things that I know, I forget who it was that busted on, was that when Alan says he knows, I think he says it's at least 6 inches thick, about how he knows how thick the timber is, the door. It's like, how would you know it's that thick, right? When he's trying to, saying that for them to get out when they're locked in there. It was just a reference for that, but it's all good.
And just really quickly here, guys, I just find it hard to believe that John and Alan wouldn't instantly recognize the moon, right? Because the moon is instantly recognizable to all of us, right? I mean, you glance and the moon, right? It's very distinct features, and the moment Helena says that, they should have been like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, that's when they kind of start to put it together. It's like, wait a minute.
And cue every one of us when we see clouds across the moon in that way. Yeah. Surely we all go, it's the moon, John.
All the time. I always reference, I must say to Harry, it's the moon. It's the moon. It's such a cool moment.
It's the moon.
Mark said Tabor was pulled from original screening order when Year 2 debuted in the ATV Midlands in '76. It was built in the TV, but pulled to be screened at Christmas instead. Interesting.
Really? Oh my God.
And then he said, I think the rules of the time.
Years ago, you're right.
Yeah, it's replacement, but not 100% sure.
I did not know that. I could not remember that.
Wow.
I do remember the episodes towards the end of the series, they had a gap on ATV, and then they started putting it on again, because we had it at Saturdays, and then the last 2 episodes were put in as filler episodes, and one of them turned up on Christmas Day as a filler because the a quiz show called 321 was pulled because there was a strike. And I insisted that my mum delay Christmas lunch so that I could watch Space 1999.
Nice.
That was a long time ago. And I think that was the same Christmas that I got the Moonbase Alpha Technical Notebook as well.
Nice.
So it was a good Christmas.
Aww. Yeah, Christmas of '76 for me was great because I got my and I know you didn't have it in the UK, which is so sad. I got my Mattel Eagle. That thing was, oh my god, I was so excited at Christmas to wake up with that. I was so excited.
But interesting as well that, you know, we talked about the Making of Space and Starlog, but the tech manual was the other resource that was, you know, treasured by fans for many, many years.
I did not get that until 79 for whatever reason. And when I remember getting it and it came in the mail and I was so excited and I couldn't wait. I had that box opened up before I got up the steps to get back into the house. And then I was immediately going to the episode guide. And when I saw that Dragon's Domain was episode 23, I was like, what? How could that be?
Because they aired Dragon's Domain early on in the run.
It was number 2. It was number 2. It was right after Breakaway.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Sun was 3. Collision Course was 4. Force of Life was 5. Alpha Child was 6. Guardian of Pre was 7. It's scary how I remember this stuff. But yeah. And then it all made sense though, because when I thought about the opening, because it always seemed strange to me that with Ring Around the Moon, they had that opening with, with Barry Morse in the credits. I love that effect, but you didn't see Barry's image. And I was like, oh my God, that totally makes sense now because those were the first 4 that did that. And yeah, anyway, I could go on and on. Like all of us.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, listen, we better wrap this then, guys. Thanks again so much. It's getting late in the UK there, Isobel, but we do appreciate you working with us on the coordination of the scheduling here.
Yeah, Isobel. Thank you again, Warren. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. And we'll be back next week, and we will be doing episode number 6, The Table War.
Your favorite.
You bet. So we'll say farewell for now to everybody out there. Yeah. We'll give a live long and prosper to everybody.
LLAP.
And we'll see you all next time for the Tabor.
The Table. Enjoy.
Have a good weekend, everybody.